Hello YouTube, so we're back with a TFT video. If you follow Dish Soap, you've noticed he's been talking about this Sona Azir comp. He has a new video of him playing it in his patch kind of tier list. We go here, it's the highest ranked one. I don't know if this is in order, but it's the first one listed. He doesn't have anything in the S tier. It was empty. And then yeah, as I said, there's a video of him playing it. And this is actually a comp I stumbled upon myself a few days ago, right? So 4 days ago, you could say I went 5th. And you can say, why would you tell us about this comp if you went 5th? That sounds pretty bad. Well, it's honestly, I felt pretty strong and it did not feel like a good game. I was level 7, like dying out. I slammed like a Hodge in frontline items. So I just, you know, smashing D. I'm buying whatever 4 costs I can. I hit a Fiora 2. I'd even hit Nasus 2. I hit Fiora 2, a Jarvan. And I was like, okay, I'll throw in Demacia. I found a Sona 2, and then I put a Azir beside. And like, I literally came to this comp almost by accident. This was 4 days ago, at the time I'm recording this, and it felt nice. Like I went 5th, but when it actually came together, you know, I never hit a Azir 2, who's the main carry. I hit this Nasus 2 really light. Like it was dog. I was in such a bad spot, but I was actually winning matches. So I tried it again 3 days ago. I went 2nd. You know, same comp. You know. I got to level 9 this time, a little healthier. I lost probably a TF reroll, as we always do. Again, 3 days ago, same thing. I got to do it. I didn't get to itemize Fiora this time. 2nd, and it's nice, right? So again, 2nd here, boom. So let's talk about why I think this comp is like pretty good, and I'll show you guys how to play it. So one, Azir got attack speed buff in the B patch. That's nice, right? Azir's gonna be our main carry. Fiora got armor and magic resist. Honestly, not the biggest deal. Fiora is in the comp. She honestly doesn't have to be. I think you could even play Galio too if you want. But she is like there as a kind of secondary damage, but mostly to stall for our Azir to stack up. And she kind of does that better now, right? Before, if you were to do this, she would drop aggro, so people would go to your Azir, and then, you know, Azir is not like Kai'Sa, you can't fly away like the old Fiora comp. So it's actually pretty nice that Fiora is like worse overall, but she's better for this comp specifically because she's tankier and she does the damage reduction when she ults. And the last big thing is Sona. So Sona's ult got reworked, if you guys know this. She now gives you 20, 25, 35% for the rest of combat. She'll give Azir 25% attack speed if you stand beside each other. Crescendo will always hit allies left and right now. So every time she casts, and spoiler, she's gonna double cast because we're playing Talia for Shurima. She's giving Azir 25% attack speed, 25% attack speed for the rest of combat, and she's going to keep doing that over and over and over again. We can stall out. So that's why I'm saying Fiora is kind of better than she used to be in this regard, because she's tanky, right? She doesn't have to kill everything. We want Azir to get to 1,000,000,000% attack speed. So yeah, this is the comp at level 7 is how it's going to look. If you do get to level 8, a very nice thing to do is you add Aatrox, gives you 2 Darken, Juggernaut for your Nasus, who will be your main carry. Aatrox might find his way on his Fiora. Maybe she will be a little tankier. Maybe a Azir at the end, I don't know. But I honestly do think it's a really good comp. Obviously, apparently a lot of people do. I didn't even know it was like catching on until just this morning, where I saw Dish Soap make a video about it. And so yeah, a little bit of explanation is you don't want Fiora right in the front line. Back in the past, you used to like this because she would tank hits and then drop aggro and heal up. She no longer drops aggro, and we do want her to do some damage if we end up getting items on her. So we'll put her behind Nasus. Maybe she'll give Nasus the buff, which is 5 armor MR, but whatever. And she'll walk up here and then, you know, take aggro a little bit later so she lasts longer. In terms of the Demacia buff, if you have like a Fiora 1 with no items, as I saw in one of those games, you don't have to give it to her, right? You can give Jarvan a Warmogs if you have some extra tank items, which is better, right? Because we want Azir to stack up. Or you can even give it to Sona. Let's say you have a lot of items, right? One thing I like to do is I take Ezreal Augment. Let's say you end up with a lot of items. Nasus is like fully stacked, Jarvan's fully stacked. Just throw it on Sona, and giving her the Radiant Shojin is essentially almost like giving Azir an item, because Sona will be casting so much faster, which is just giving Azir so much attack speed, right? So kind of the goal here is we have 4 Shurima, which lets both our Azir and our Nasus ascend. Back when you used to play Nasus Azir, you usually only play 2, so you have to usually choose just that Nasus gets to ascend. But Azir gets a bunch of attack speed from Shurima, a bunch of attack speed from Sona, so we don't really need a Gwynsu's. I don't think it's that good actually. Even the Shojin, if you get enough items, you can, or sorry, the Shiv, you can move it to Sona instead. But I think Nashor's Tooth is for sure one of his best items. I like Jeweled Gauntlet. Where is it? Boom. I like Jeweled Gauntlet. I think Deathcap's good. Archangels can be good because you're trying to scale up. Jeweled Gauntlet's good, etc. This is really good on Sona, the Morellos, because she kind of hits the whole board. And so yeah, the main things you want to do is make sure your Nasus, you want to build tank items first, I think. The big thing with this is you want to make sure your tank items are good, because this isn't like, especially at 7, this isn't the tankiest frontline ever. If you are getting tankier helps, Neferi's barely a unit, it's kind of these two. It's really nice that our Nasus will ascend, so hopefully you hit Nasus too. Talia CC actually helps quite a bit. I always slept on Talia as like a trait bot, but sometimes she clutches out some fights, I've noticed. So yeah, I think you really want to focus on your tank items. So let's say we wanted to... Oh yeah, just quickly. What you usually want to do is you want to make sure... It's not the biggest deal in the world, but let's say we're fighting, you know, some gunner comp. If they're in this corner, you want to usually position in such a way like this even, where your Sona will kind of give your whole board the attack speed, right? It's not as important as giving to Azir, of course we want Azir, but especially let's say we do get to a point where our Fiora has an item or two, it's nice to give her some stacking attack speed as well, even though she has a little bit from Challenger with Neferi. So you want her Sona, especially if she has Morellos, to hit as much as the board as you can, because not only do you want to apply burn to their team with as many people, you want to give the attack speed to your team, because she will be casting a lot if you can stall out the fights a lot. Another thing is I would almost always recommend not trying to give Talia the Sona value. It's nice, but you know, everyone runs Jarvan these days. You're just gonna kind of attract your main units. I would watch out. Another thing is watch out for rogues. I think rogues kind of beat this comp pretty hard, because you really don't want to give up this value of Sona Azir together, because it's like the whole comp pretty much is the reason it's so good, is because of how much attack speed Azir is getting for free. It's almost like he has like 5 items, right? You give him 3 items, Sona's giving him essentially a Gwynsu's, Shurima gives him so much stacks, which you know you don't always get with Azir, because you used to make Nasus Transcend or whatever instead. So yeah, that's pretty much the gist of it. That's how we want to play the board. In terms of the early game board, again, I think you should try to slam as many early game items as you can. I think Renekton's a great item holder here. He also transitions nicely into Shurima. Cassio holds the items very well. Where is she at? Cassiopeia. I'm blind. Oh, she's the first one there. Nice. Okay. Yeah, the first item I would slam if I can. Obviously, you don't get to choose your items, but would be Nashor's. Cassiopeia uses it fine, like it's not her best in slot, but I think this is the most important item for Azir. Even Shiv is good too. And then from here, it's pretty flexible. You know, you can try to run like Noxus around it if that's what you find. Just add these two, and then eventually you try to stack up some Shurimas. You know, you level up, you add Bada Bing, even a Talia at 6. That's not Samira. So like sometimes my boards will look something like this. You want to make sure but again, even this, like this isn't the craziest frontline ever. You really want to prioritize frontline items when you're playing this comp. Like Sunfire is not a real frontline item. You know, you want your Warmog's, your D-Claw. D-Claw is really good. There's so many multicasters everywhere. So yeah, prioritize that. You're gonna eventually move them to what's his name? Nasus. And then hopefully you get an Aatrox that also give your Nasus some Juggernaut value as well. That's pretty much it. The early game can be flexible. You don't have to look for this exact comp, obviously. You're not going to find it, right? I've played games where my frontline, my item holder was Ori, and it was pretty similar to this because I found Ori Swain, so I was just using them for Sorcerer, and then I just built whatever I could around them, right? Like as I got stronger, I added I don't remember, but this was like my whole thing. I gave Swain all the tank items. I gave Ori Nashor's Tooth plus Shiv whenever I could build it with Ezreal. And I played around that, eventually sold all of them and moved over to Shurima. Another augment I've been experimenting with is Ornn. I've been playing Ornn on this comp on my Smurf account, and it's going well, but it's hard to tell because, you know, I'm not getting punished when I feel like I'm low rolling and whatnot, but I think this comp is really good from a win streak. I think you want to slam your items. You want to try to get strong early. You want to hit 7, hit 8, and not kind of bleed out, right? Especially when you're going to be fighting people who are rerolling TF or have a bunch of items on their bench because they're Pandora's items. You want to win, and you want to roll down for Azir as fast as possible. So I usually like to hit 7 at 4-1. I'll roll down until I find most of my board. If I find a bunch of pairs, I'll just send it to 0 and try to econ back up to hit 8. But yeah, I do think you want to play this from a win streak, which is why I like taking Ornn, or at least trying it so far. If I get Zanya's or DFG, I'll play this comp for sure. I'll give that to Azir later. If I get a frontline item, that's amazing. I'll also probably just like be like, okay, I'll probably play this. If I get like this, I'll try to play around either Renekton or Swain and transition into the Azir comp, sorry. Same with Eternal Cringe, not bad. You do get something like Mana Zane, you're stuck with it. Even Sniper's Focus, not the worst on Azir, but I don't like it that much. Mogul's Mail, just don't even take it. Zanya's, you play this for sure. If you get Death Dance, whatever it's called, you can put it on Fiora later. But as I said, Fiora's not like the big part of this comp. You're not like super invested in trying to make her carry. It's possible, but like I wouldn't see Death's Defiance and be like, nice, I could play the Azir Fiora comp, because it's like you care way more about Nasus and Azir items. And I feel like I'm kind of blabbering on at this point. So I hope you guys learned something. If you did, I'd appreciate a like and a subscription. Let me know if there's any other comps you'd like to know about, or just how to play them from the early game, or any positioning tricks, etc. Stay beautiful, my friends.